What's up guys, Forest Knight here, and this is the second video of us designing our application. Now I hope you already have your sketches ready because we're going to take these sketches and turn them into Adobe Xd files where we're just going to do the login screen and the feed similar to what we sketched up, and I will be including my designs, the ones that I design, in the description box below. Once I get that uploaded to Dribbble or Behance, I have to look into them, I'll figure out which platform I'm going to use, and then I'll post it here. And you guys can use those however you want, you can change them however you want. But I'm also going to finish up the social media screens. I'm going to make, I don't know, 10 to 20. I haven't done it yet, but once I complete those, I'm going to throw those over on the creative market for like 10 bucks. And if you realize that you have more money than you have time and you don't care to create it on your own, then go ahead and purchase that. Or if you wish to support the channel, go ahead and purchase that, and you can change those however you wish. They're yours to use freely. And if you realize that you don't want to purchase that and you just want to go with creating them on your own because you want to learn how, or you have more time than money, that won't hurt my feelings at all. It doesn't matter to me. That's perfectly fine if you do not. But that's out there for anyone who wishes to support the channel and continue allowing me to create these videos for you guys. So keep that in mind while we create these applications, these designs. So this may be the last video of this design series because I'm going to turn this design into a prototype in this video. And I'm also going to start developing this application, not this one, but the one I'm creating on my own. This application, these designs are strictly for YouTube purposes because I don't want to give away all the ideas or the design of my actual application. So this is just to help you guys out. So this is what it looks like. And with that being said, let's go ahead and get started on creating that design that you just saw. So right now we're going to make the sign-in screen and the content feed. Starting with the sign-in screen, let's go ahead, you open your XD of course. Let's change this just to name it sign in. And make sure you periodically save your files so you don't lose anything if something happens. If the program crashes, which hasn't happened to me yet, but Premiere has, so I'm kind of skittish about anything crashing. You just want to say periodically. Something you learned a long time ago. But let's name this sign in. Let's change the background color to like a gray because we're going to be using some white fonts, and because we're going to change this background to an image and we're going to mess with it a little bit. Right now let's create the wireframe though, where the wireframe, it doesn't have all those fancy dancy colors, maybe one or two. It's just kind of the basic idea, something that you would make, you would send over to your client or whoever, for yourself, be like, all right, I approve of this is good to go. Now you can implement the colors. Otherwise it would be like, all right, I don't like that sign-in screen. What I would like to see is this or that. So just make a wireframe, give it to the client, get their approval, and then implement images and things like that of that nature. But right now we're going to make both. We're going to do the wireframe first though. So let's make this look a gray. And I like to work with grid, a 15 square grid, because it's just, I like to space things out 15 apart from the edge. First, let's add in our name and logo. Since we don't have a logo, I'm just going to kind of leave a blank right here. I would normally put a logo here and then the name here. So let's name this, we're going to name this Biscuit, all caps, Biscuit. Helvetica New. Yeah, we'll keep it like that just because it'll be easier that way, because since that's the default text for this purpose, I don't need to keep going back and changing that text to something like Roboto, or anything that I would use alternatively. So let's put this at 50. I like that. Let's throw this centered, not all the way centered like this, but centered vertically and up above. There'd be room right here for a logo. Yeah, let's put it right there. And let's throw this to white. Is that what I want? Do I want it medium bodied? Yeah, let's make it medium body. I like that a little bit. And then what we're going to do is create the boxes for our email and our password in order to enter, and then hit the sign in button. So let's make our boxes from the 15. Let me scroll in a little bit. I lied, let me scroll out a little bit too. 60. Let's make it 60 for right now. And I love to take these all the way in. I like that look. It looks good, so that's what I'm going to use. And in all honesty, whenever it comes to this, I like it 30 in on each side. not 15, but 30. So it still works with a 15 grid block. Email, we're going to change this to white. And then we're going to change the background of this. So let's make it a dark gray. We have email there. Let me take off this border. And then let me throw this in the center. Sometimes it doesn't look centered. As you can see, it looks like there's more weight on the bottom than on the top. And that's exactly what's going on when you have all, mostly lowercase letters instead of all caps. So we can adjust that up one if we wish, which will make it look better and more centered to the eye. And then what we're going to do is merge these. Make sure that's not selected. What you can do is highlight it like that, or select, hold down Shift, select the other item, and then Command G. Or what you can do is come up here, Object, Group. See, Command G, ungroup is Shift, Command G. We're going to take this, Alt, hold down Alt, tear it down here, password, type password in here. It's a little bigger. So that looks just as good, everything's the same. This is already grouped together, I believe. Yeah, and I just hit Command Z to undo that. I just wanted to see if it was grouped together just like these are, since I duplicated it. And then below that, we're going to have a forgot password, or lost password. Lost password. That's also going to be white text, but we're going to make it smaller. So like 14. Lost password is never as prominent as any of the other text because you don't use it as often. So center it there, space it 15 apart. And then we have to have our sign in button. So let's also Alt drag this down. It's at 14 right now, so what I'm going to do is let go, drop down, use a down arrow just to drop it down. You can use your up arrow, you can use your side to side arrow. But now it's centered vertically, throw it down 15 spaced. And then we don't want to say password, we want it to say sign in. Then hit escape to get out of that. Make sure you're selected on the actual text box, not the whole thing, or else it'll move it all. You want it to come up, there we go. And so it doesn't look like the rest. Let's pick a color for this. What would be good for like a restaurant or recipe app? I have no clue. Let's come to fill. What color do you think of? Orange? Sure, let's make it orange. Maybe you don't like orange, but if you do decide to download these files, you can change the color to whatever you want. So let's just make it orange. And then below that, we're going to have like a sign up button. So we're at 14. Let's drop it down one more. Sign up. Hit escape to get out. Drag it over. I don't know why it always wants to lock in at 14. Maybe because the text is a little bit more lined up that way. But we're not going to play that game. We're going to go ahead and do 15. I know I already had. I just wanted to re-show. And then that's it for the login screen. Just imagine a logo up here so it doesn't look so bottom heavy. It would kind of be more central, more neutral if there's a logo up here. We could add in just like a B logo if we wanted to. For example, let's type in B. I know you can't really see that too well, but let's make it 100. Let's just do that just to show you guys the offset. See, now it looks a little bit more neutral, more centered. If this was more prominent, more dominant, more so, it would look even more centered. Now it's still a little bottom heavy, but that's what we're going to go with. So let's go on over to the content feed. Like I said before, this is just a wireframe. Then let's name this content feed. Self-explanatory, right? And then let's change this also to the same color as this one over here. Throw on the grid 15. And then let's throw in a nav bar to begin with. So navigation bar, top one, not a bottom one. One problem I found with Adobe Xd so far is that you're not able to have like sticky elements. So for example, or at least I haven't played with it. I haven't found anywhere where you can do it. So for example, let's create the nav bar first, and then I'll get into what I was just talking about. Let's make it 60. I noticed I like 60 tall. Let's take off that stupid border. And then let's Alt Shift this down. So let's click here, here, not Alt Shift, Alt drag in order to duplicate. See, something like this. So let me just give you an example. It'll probably be easier. So right here, we would have our title, we'd have our navigation things. Then down here, we'd have home, we'd have explore, we'd have post, we'd have profile, we'd have notifications, just like Instagram. That's an Instagram example. And then what you'd be able to is this would be locked in here, like stuck to it. And then you'd be able to scroll down your feed without this moving around. What would happen in Adobe Xd Prototype is that if you came up here and you want to scroll down, it scrolls with it. You see that? So it's not able to lock down at the bottom here, just kind of scrolls with it, unfortunately. I saw like last May, so almost a year ago to this day, they said, we're working on sticky elements. Still haven't seen it. So that's kind of upsetting, but we'll play with the idea a little bit more and just, we won't add in this bar down here, but I'll include it in that like full package. So if you need that, you can go ahead and get it there. Let's make this just regular size for now. And let's get back to our regularly scheduled program. Just plain. Alright, so what I want to do is the fill. I want to make this the same color here. What you can do is use this dropper, or what you can do is make a swatch. I guess that's the same exact color as I had before. And now we're going to have our title here. So let's just take this, Alt drag over here. Of course, we're going to make this font smaller. Let's make it 30. I like that. I don't like it too big when it's up in the nav bar, but I do like it centered. So let's center this, centered vertically and horizontally within this box. And let's, for example, let's say we click up here and we want to post something. So scroll in, make sure we get it, get the pen tool out. Let's throw it right there. Oh, whoops. So you just click and then click and then click. If you want to kind of round it off, what you can do is hold down click and just mess with it like that. Right now I'm holding down my left click and just dragging it around. But let's Command Z to undo that. I don't like that. We don't need it for this. And then somewhere around here, click that again and connect it all. Oh, whoops, that did not connect it. And then hit escape to get out of that. And let's take off the border, implement the fill, and then duplicate it. So Command D. As long as this is selected, Command D, it will duplicate it. Since this is 15 wide, height is all good. So it's nice and symmetrical. You don't have like 28.26. You have 30, 15. This is just location on this. So let's drag this over. And then Shift, select both. Command G to group. And then let's shift a little, or rotate it. Let's kind of throw it up. Kind of 15 from the side over here. Not this part, but you know, the actual image. And that looks pretty good, I think. Since it's more top heavy with all this, it just has like a little tail down here, but it's more top heavy. Although it is technically centered when I come, right now it's technically centered along with this, but it doesn't look centered, does it? So we need to bring this down a little bit. I think that looks okay for now. And let's create like a search, like a spotlight search right over here. I'm using this over here, 22, 22, to make sure it's a perfect circle. Border needs to be white. Fill needs to be nothing. And then with that, let's create a little tail. With the lines, you see how I can kind of make it any degree angle I wish? If you hold down Shift, it's just 45-degree angle. So I'm holding down Shift right now, as you can see. So I want a 45-degree angle from here. Make sure it's white. And actually, let's make sure this is 2. Make sure both of them are 2, because if it's just like this, it's just too skinny compared to everything else. And Shift, select both, Command G, make this centered along with Biscuit and essentially along with this. That looks pretty good to me, doesn't it? So right here you click to post, right here you click to open up like a search bar. I don't know if I'd keep this because you may just have like an explore page down here in the navigation tabs, but you know, I'm just giving you examples of what you can put up there and what to create. More often than not on your original feed, but if you ever click from your original feed to a profile or anything like that, you'll just have that, you know, that arrow back button. So, which is fairly easy to make. This is how you make it. The pen tool, select right here, select right here, select right here, done. And what you really need to do is add that, make that 2, make this right there, and that's the back button. So, very simple. You can make it any width you wish, but we don't need that for right now. What we're going to do next is add in the image. Just like on most social medias, we have an image, because if it's a recipe, you want to see what the end result is. So, let's drag this down. Decent image. Let's change this. Let's take off the border. Let's change this to like a darker gray, so we can still see the grid and the background. And then let's take in these corners a little bit. You can drag these in just like we did over here, or you can just put 5, just like a subtle curve. And then select the arrow, Alt drag. We want this to be our content feed. Let's make this white though, because this is where our names and stuff are going to be. We're going to change the actual colors later on. Like I said, we just have like one color in here just to differentiate certain things. But what I like to do is not have any rounding on this, so let's make it 0. But let's also drag this up to right here, because if we kept it right here, there'd be that little gap. You see this little gap. So let's drag it up 15. Let's send it back 1. If you do Command left bracket, it'll send back. Or you can come up here, Object, send back, send backward, bring forward, bring to front, or you can use your shortcuts. So now that we have that looking good, let's title this. I'm trying to think of the images we have. So we have cheeseburger slider images. We're going to implement the images a little bit later. Cheeseburger slider, sliders. Let's make this bigger font. What does 26 look like? Maybe a little bit too big. Let's make it 24. Of course, most of this is personal preference, but you want it to look good. So let's do it left aligned within that. That looks good for that. And then if you want to create a text box, what you do is select the text, click, hold down, left click, and drag. Let's make it the same, you know, a multiple of 15. Make sure it's 15 from the side of this box. Oh, whoops. I think I accidentally deleted it because I didn't type anything in there. Let's remake it. Let's type in three lines. Because I don't like this size of font, let's make it 16. 16 or 18? 16. Oh, whoops. Yeah, let's make 16. And then escape to get out of that. Let's drag this up here. We still have it at 60 now. And it's left aligned just like that. But let's drag this up so it's a little bit closer to the title. It's about 5 away. It may look a little bit different since we are having the grid lines here, but I think that looks pretty good. Now what we want is a circle down here for our profile picture. If I posted cheeseburger sliders, I want people to know that I posted it. So let's make a circle for my profile picture, 60 by 60. Seems appropriate. We don't really need a fill, we're just going to implement something later. So we'll keep the border on this for now, just so you can see the circle. And then let's Alt drag this down here. My name. Let's make this smaller though. Let's make it 20. I don't like that. Let's make it 8. oops, I don't want to make that 18. I want to make this. Actually, let's try 14. Too small. I think 16 is good. What do we have? What is this again? Oh, this is also 16. Normally don't like these the same size. So yeah, let's just make this 18 just so it's a little bit different. It's 15. As you can see, it's 15 away. It's centered along with this. And then what we want to also do is, you know, the 3 dots, let's create that. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, you'll know in a second. Take off border, fill it. Actually, let's fill it with this color. And then what we can do, which is really cool, you haven't seen it quite yet, is repeat grid. So in other words, what I could do is like this, you know, Command D, duplicate, and then have it like, you know, perfectly spaced, right? And then I can merge them together. Or I could use a wonderful little tool. I'm just making sure that I deleted all of them. Is repeat grid. So let me drag this over just in case it's too long. Repeat grid, I can drag these down to duplicate. Alright, so since I was recording for so long, my camera shut off. I don't know when. I'll find out once I upload all of this. But what we did, let me just explain what we did real quick. We've created the sign-in sheet. I know you saw all of this screen over here, but we also created the content feed, made this the same color as this. I believe that's the same color, isn't it? It looks like a similar color. And then we implemented the little box where our images will go, our content box, and also our title, description of the recipe, our profile image. If I created cheeseburger sliders recipe, then that's my profile image, that's my name, and this is our, you know, you click that in order to see more of the recipe. It'll take you to like my profile or just like a different screen just to show the recipe. And then what we did was, let me actually undo a few things. Whoops. So I dragged this all the way down. You know how to do that. But what I also did was I selected all of these, all of that like that. I hit grid, and it has these little right here. This is also what I did in order to create the 3 dots. And it just duplicates all of this right here. So sorry for the inconvenience of the camera shutting off, but what can I do? Oh yeah, and I was just saying it's time to implement. We forgot to implement these. Let's use a pen. Let's make the little logos. So we're using our pen, drag it over, drag it down, down. So we want to make a rectangle. Let's hit exit to get out of that. Let's make it white for now. 2 width. And then I'm going to create this. In all honesty, let me drag this up here. Let's make the height 15. Let's make the width an even 25. And then we're going to see, it looks like a little envelope now. Hit escape to get out of that. 2 white. That doesn't, whoops. Hit escape to get out of that. Let's make sure it just is aligned properly. We can double click in order to get back into the pen. Alright, that looks good for these purposes. Shift, select both. Command G to group. Let's even it up with this. So that looks pretty good. And now let's create the password. Let's create perfect box. 15 by 15. No fill. Border is white. Slight curve. And then let's use our pen tool and create that little loop up here. So I clicked. Now I'm going to click here and then keep holding click. Keep holding click. Keep holding left click, drag this across so it's like an even curve, and then bring it back down here. 2 white. Oh yeah, forgot to make this 2 as well. 2. That's not perfect, but Yeah, let's adjust this just a little bit over. Oh, that's good. But also let's create a little bit of a, like a keyhole. Make this perfectly centered within this little box here. And now let's shift click all of these, Command G to group. And it looks okay, but let's make it wider. I just want to make sure everything was symmetrical, so that's why I made it a square, but I can make it a bit wider. Went to right there. I believe this is now centered along with this icon, or at least it's pretty close. So you can see that looks pretty good, right? Maybe you want to make this kind of right aligned with the icon above, or left aligned, or you just want to make it like just as wide as that, but I'm going to leave it just like this. Looks good to me. Make sure I save it. And now it's time to implement some of the images. So let's implement these images. I've already come over to splash.com, unsplash.com, and I typed in food, and then taken some of these images. All these are, you can come over to unsplash.com, no sponsor or anything, I just like their stuff. Free, high resolution photos. Do whatever you want, you click to see like essentially the licensing, terms of service type deal, but we're not getting into that. I already have them downloaded. You just click and drag, and since we're in that repeat grid, we're good to go. So since I selected 3 images and we're in the repeat grid, this is how it lays out. So 1, 2, 3, and then it repeats itself 1, and then it'll do 2, 3. So for example, if I were to select right here, you'll see the cheeseburger and then the pizza next. So that's how that works. Let me take this up a little bit so you can see. That's how the repeat grid works if you're importing images. It's a huge time saver. It's awesome. I don't know what this is called. It looks like a bone and ribeye or something. Ribeye? Let's just bone and ribeye. That's not how you spell ribeye. This is how you spell ribeye. Hit escape to get out of that. Let's call this pizza. Whoops. You see what I did? I hit enter instead of escape. So let's come back. Let's go down, backspace. Now I'm right here, escape. All right, good to go. And as you can see right here, these circles are still blank. What do we want to do? We want to come over here to these 3 face images that I chose. Drag them over. They do the same exact thing as before. So that's me, I guess. This can be Cindy Lou Who. I don't know how it's spelled in Dr. Seuss, the Grinch, but that's how we're going to spell it. Down here we have Captain John Smith. You know, came over to America. But we don't need to, that's me again actually, so we'll just keep that as it is. Obviously those aren't cheeseburger sliders, but you get the idea. And then let's go in, for the record, I'm going to go in and touch these up. I'm just trying to go through it a little bit faster, although this is kind of a long video, just so you guys can see how it's done. But before I go and upload my actual designs, my design screens to the description box plus on Creative Market, I'm going to make sure I go touch up everything just a little bit more to make it better. But let's make this background black. Let's make it black, you know, all zeros. Drop the opacity to 50%. And as you can see, it changes all of them, which is nice. Let's change these to white, 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 and let's make these dots white as well. And let's take off the border of this now, since we just have the image. See, that looks good. Border takes off all these is white. But also what I want to do, it looks bad in the back. So what I realized is you need to have a background. It has to be the same size as the back. 375 by 667, is that the? I guess it is. I'm just making sure it's exactly to the borders. And let me send this to back. So I think it's Shift Command left bracket. Yes. And you can't see the B or the biscuit because those are white, and this, yeah, see. So what we're going to do is take this burger picture. Let's come back over here. Burger. and we're going to drag it right in there. So that looks better, right? But we're also going to do background blur. I'm just going to blur it out. We're going to blur it out a little bit. Let's go 70%. Because what we're also going to do is create another one. I guess we could have duplicated it, but I'm just going to create another one on top. I'm going to send to back and then bring it forward 1. Let's make it black just to... Actually, no, let's make it this color, orange. We're going to implement the background blur. Implement the orange a little bit. Maybe not that much. Let's change this to... I'm just going to play with this a little bit until I find what I like. 15:15, so that looks better. What we can also do is come over to these two. Let's click on that. I can make this black and also drop this opacity down to 50. Not 48, I want 50. Same thing with this. So we're getting there. You see it kind of looks a little bit better. Let's go in here, take off the grid so you can see it better. That looks not too shabby, huh? What we're going to do is the same thing. So what we're going to really do is object, no, it's view layers. So just like in any other Adobe program, software, whatever you want to call it, we have layers. So this rectangle, these rectangles are these backgrounds. So let's shift, and then we're going to copy. We're going to come over to content feed. We're going to paste. So we pasted it in here. While we have both selected, we're going to send both of them all the way to the back. We're going to slide it all the way to the bottom. Not too shabby, huh? So that's going to be this design for now. Let's go over to prototype and then make this sign in button. Come over to this screen, and you can change, dissolve, we're going to make it slide left. Duration 4 seconds, that's good. And this is the result. So we have this, let's click on sign in. And now you can slide down, you can kind of go through the feed. And that's the design for now. That's kind of how you take your sketch, I always say sketch design, knowing that, Bohemian Sketch 3 over there is another software program that I'm currently not using, although I have used it before. But that's how you take your drawn design and turn it into an Adobe Xd file, image, whatever you wish to call it. And with this, what we're also able to do is share a link. So they're able to see the prototype, see the design, leave comments to see if they like it or not, just say what they like about it. So you can just send the link to a client. They can see if they like it, make the comments in the actual software. They don't need Adobe Xd or Adobe Creative Cloud. They just need an Adobe account, which is free for the record. All right, guys, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Remember, the Xd file is linked down in the description box below, as well as the other file that has the rest of the screens for this whole entire mobile application. That will be linked down below to my Creative Market account, assuming I get accepted to it. And make sure you follow me on the social medias, the Instagram. I'm making a Dribble and a Behance account. That's where I will post the free XD files. So follow me over there so you can, have access to those. And I think that's it for this video. So I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned a little bit. And until next time, have a good one.